Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Nonprofit Therapy. Today we have here Natasha Brookner from the Twinning Project. Thank you so much for being with us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
We have Natasha here to talk a little bit to us about using football as a catalyst for change. And so thanks for being with us today. And let's just start telling our audience a little bit about you, Natasha. Who are you?
Who am I? I have previously worked for other nonprofits, children's charities, in fact. So it was a bit of a change to then come to something that helps offenders rehabilitate in prisons. So I think I've worked for charities for such a long time that it takes a certain person to work for a nonprofit. So you have to have some sort of empathy and understand and have a passion. And once you've got that passion for something, um, it really does tend to make a difference. You have a head of steam about things and you want to make a change. You want to break the cycle and you want things to be better for whoever it is that you're raising money for, whether it was children in the previous charity that I worked for or offenders in this one.
So how long have you been in this industry? Like helping nonprofits and all of this?
Nonprofits for about 15 years.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. And now tell us a little bit about Twinning Project. What exactly do you guys do?
Twinning Project started with David Dean, and it's a partnership between the Prison and Probation Service and the football family, professional football clubs up and down England and Wales. And its aim was to twin every prison in England and Wales with their local professional football club. So what we do is the coaches from the football club foundations, each football club has a charity arm. And so the charity foundations will deliver a bespoke course that was written for us by the FA, which is the English Football Association. So it could be delivered in prisons. Excuse me. It provides a coaching in football course. And in essence, what we do is we go in with 18 to 24 months left on their sentence. So it hits them at the time where they're thinking about release. And it's almost like a light bulb moment that goes on where we want to rehabilitate them and they want to rehabilitate. They don't want to keep reoffending. 80% of the prison population now are reoffenders.
Wow.
We have to break that cycle. And the only way to do that is by rehabilitating them. And if they've got a passion for doing every educational course that's on offer, then they will have this moment where they make better life decisions and create safer communities.
So it's education also with football.
Yes.
So it's like a combination of both in one
So
program.
it's not just on the football in the gym or the astro pitch or whatever each prison has got. There is also some classroom learning, and they get given a journal and they have to fill that out, and there are different tasks that they have to do.
So
So it's part of, there's 35 guided learning hours, 14 of which are classroom based. And
okay.
so they are out, and we have academic partners in Loughborough and Oxford universities who are studying what's going on here. And it improves their mental and physical well-being, which is a great start. It improves their behaviour, peer on peer, and to prison officers. And there is actually some research coming out in the next few weeks from Oxford University that is not, I can't quite tell you yet, but those who are listening may wish to then look at it. But there are some really significant and interesting findings. And this is the first research that I'm aware of its type who have studied those in prison with their behaviours associated with a course. So the thing is that for me, well, and Ministry of Justice will tell you the same, it's less likely for them to reoffend if they have a job within a year.
Of course, and training projects help them get a job after, right?
Right. So if I just circle back a little bit, when they come out, when they've completed the course, we encourage them, the Twinning Project and the Football Club Foundation encourage them to get back in touch with the football club, where they complete another 2 modules, which are both online.
Okay.
Once they do that, there are then employment pathways available to them. We have some of our graduates who are working in football clubs. There is one chap who's working in a club in the north, and he's actually working in their finance department, and he's doing his finance
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I remember seeing once in one of your posts that you had one prisoner that came out, did a
Yes.
program in one of the clubs, and then in the same club, he got a job, offered a job there. And so I feel like it builds like this community surrounding the team and surrounding the whole like
Yeah, and we also have like an alumni community that seeks support from one another. Are you having challenges with this? Are you having challenges with that? And we get that, and you know, we're involved with that alumni, and that's just the start of, you know, we want that to grow.
Yeah.
I mean, going back, we were obviously hampered by COVID, and prisons were closed, and we couldn't deliver our courses, but you know, so we haven't got as many as we wanted to at this point, but now we're picking up momentum, and there are lots of people that are coming out and joining our group.
Yeah, and it's amazing because the best help that you can do is that help that will not only help instantly, but in the future. And by doing this, by giving people jobs, you're really setting a foundation for their life.
But that's exactly it. That's what we find happening, that this is the catalyst for change for them.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. And I'm curious, you personally, do you meet the players, the people, the students?
Yes.
So you have connections with them.
We have 2 account managers who are like the conduit between the club and the prison.
Mm-hmm.
And they manage the relationships for those clubs and prisons, and we go in and we go to graduations, and they make a really lovely graduation for them, and they get their certificate awarded to them. Sometimes the clubs invite former players to come along and give out the certificates. We've had Ian Wright go into Pentonville prison and award those certificates. So it really is a celebration of what they've achieved.
Yeah, wow. And I also saw you were working with AS Roma, right?
Yes,
You
yes,
had
we've got some global expansion. We have, in the last 18 months to 2 years, we have commenced activity in the States,
ooh,
Italy, South Africa, and Australia. And there are others in the pipeline.
wow, amazing. So I guess that brings me to my next question. Like in 5 years, where do you see Twinning Project being growing?
I think we'd like to, well, I know we would like to grow much more into worldwide space. We would want to grow the US offering, and also we will move slightly, maybe Brazil and Argentina and further afield.
Wow.
But definitely, but whilst also being sustainable in England and Wales.
I just see so much potential in Twinning Project that I'm excited for this to.
Yeah, we're so excited. We're so excited. This has been like, we're 5 years, 6 years old now, and it's now, you know, we've built those foundations and we're ready to just grow and fly.
Incredible. So this podcast is called Nonprofit Therapy because, of course, the nonprofit world is not always rainbows and butterflies, and it can
No,
be
it's not.
sometimes challenging. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about those challenges, maybe something that you've had to overcome, or tips even to the nonprofit world, things that you do to make your life easier?
Well, obviously V is one thing that we use to make our life easier. We're
Happy
a
to
really
hear that.
small non-profit, despite how big and how far-reaching our activity is. We're a really small team of 4, and so when we first were looking for, solutions to, we were looking for a social media intern, and then we came across V on LinkedIn, and that started the journey. And I think we are your first non-profit in England.
Yes, you are.
So we take great pride in that. And but what it did was it really brought together everything that we wanted. We wanted a one-stop shop. We needed help putting together the post. It unified our look and feel. And, we provide the content and V produces what we need. And it hits every time. And now that you've got this system where you just go in and you make small changes and then it's done, it's superb.
Amazing. I'm happy to hear that we could take that off of your hands.
Yes.
So thanks for that. And so going back to challenges or any tips that you want to give the listeners, if you have any.
Okay, so no, challenges are always funding, always raising money. It's really hard in a cost of living crisis to fight with so many other charities and so many other worthwhile charities.
Yeah.
When faced with, cancer or children's illnesses, and I've worked for a charity, like I said, that helps children all over the world. People understandably would give to those before they would give to rehabilitating someone who's done wrong. And we understand that. So we seek corporate funding, we apply for grants through family trusts and bigger foundations. And that is the main challenge, is constantly raising the funds to be able to help these people. Because why shouldn't they have a second chance?
Yeah. And that's exactly why I think it's important, because not everyone targets these people, because what you said, they did something bad or whatever. And instead of
It's
want to
not
donate their
always
money
the
to the
case.
kids. But that's why it's important. And that's why it's important to have organizations that help these people have a better future.
Yeah. I mean, as you walk through the door, prison is punishment and it should be a deterrent to crime. But unless you're going to rehabilitate them, they'll be back again. And that is why the prison population is so huge at the moment. And we keep hearing how many few places there are.
Yeah. So what's the main way or tactic that you raise awareness for your cause, for Twinning Project, you would say?
We raise money through grants and family trusts, like I said. Corporate funding, we would like to scale up in the next couple of years. And we also hold fundraising events to build our awareness that way, alongside all of the social media.
Yeah, I feel like fundraising events are definitely important in any organization.
No, absolutely. A charity cannot survive without them.
Yeah.
Without getting the word out there.
Yeah, totally agree. So just to wrap up our quick talk, how can people get involved with Twinning projects? Where can they follow you? How can they volunteer? What volunteer opportunities are there if people want to get involved with this amazing cause?
Well, go to our website, twinningproject.org. You'll find all of our details there. In terms of volunteering opportunities, we don't have a lot, which is understandable because we wouldn't put people inside a prison as a volunteer. Having said that, that's not to say we don't have volunteer opportunities at some of our events. We always need help. So, and by all means, if you want to get in contact, my email address is on the website. Please do get in contact. If you've got questions, you want to help, you'd like to donate, we'd love to hear from you.
Okay, amazing. So Natasha, thank you so much for your time. It was lovely talking to you, and I wish
Definitely,
you
thank
the
you
best of
very much
luck.
for